And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara podcast. Here's Jeff.
Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday to you. And if you're on the other side of the planet, happy Sunday to you. We're all here to hang out with you guys and have fun. All right, so actually I need to adjust this a little bit so I can see you guys here on the chat. There we are. And we've already got 80 people here. All right, and I apologize for being late. And I had to start it again. I gotta I started up and then I didn't have the right setting and then I had to turn it off and start it again. But it's set right this time. All right, so nobody's here yet. I'm surprised. Usually lately somebody's here already waiting for me. Let me turn that down a little bit, but no one's here yet. I know I've got people, well, I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure people are going to be coming. Anyways, while we're talking, I usually don't, it's been so busy lately that I don't really get to tell out what's going on for the week. So we'll do that. And actually someone's here now, see? So I didn't even get to that. But hello everybody, thank you all for being here. I hope we have an amazing night. And let's bring in Janet Heel. Not sure how to pronounce her name. We'll find out. All right, let's see what's going on with Janet. She's almost here. So I started working on tomorrow. Oh, there she was. There she is. All right, we just need to have her. Let me tell her. Oh, ask to unmute. Let's do it that way. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, Janet.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. I'm glad I finally caught alive.
All right. Thanks for showing up. Where are you zooming from?
I am in Westerville, Ohio. I'm a suburb of Central Ohio, Columbus.
All right, cool. Well, what do you have to share with us this evening?
Oh, I didn't know I was sharing.
You're live with us. Maybe you thought you were coming here to watch, but you're live.
I did.
Oh,
I did think that's okay. I'll think of something to share.
Well, have you had anything paranormal? Any paranormal experiences in your life?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So why don't we start with some sleep paralysis?
Cool.
Is that cool?
Yeah,
all right.
Of course.
Sorry, I'm not dressed for this, but so I haven't had one in about a year, but I used to have them all the time when I was a child, but they actually started back up in the last couple of years. But the most scariest one that I had was let's see, what was I doing? Oh, so I was learning some new healing techniques, and not Reiki yet, but one day I was lying in bed taking a nap. It was the middle of the day, and I was in the in-between state where you're half asleep, half awake. I've always kind of been in that little open channel. And I felt this buzzing on both of my palms of my hands 4 times each, just really strong, like buzz, 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 buzz. And at that moment, I was frozen and being held down to the bed. and I looked around and I was still in my room, but the color was much brighter. It looked a little more goldish tint. I don't know how else to explain that. Like the sun was kind of just really bright. And I remember trying to yell for my daughter and nothing would come out. Just like when I was younger, I couldn't speak, I couldn't do anything. But I felt like there was someone down at the end of my bed. And I could see the blanket like over their head, but I couldn't see anybody. And I'm like, okay, am I dreaming? I can't be dreaming. And so, because how I was raised religious, I started just like I spat at it and I started cussing like, you go back to hell where you belong. And I don't even know why I thought of that because I don't know. But it didn't. Nothing happened. And but once I started cussing at it, my head got turned to the side and I got held down. My head got held down too because I was leaning up. That was the only part of me I could like raise up off the bed. And so I started praying like, oh, like how my mom taught me when we were like, Jesus, save us and help me. But nothing happened. And then I'm like, Archangel Michael, you know, please help me. You help people all the time. And then my head lifted up and it was over. It was gone.
Do
So, I
you
don't know.
do you really think that it was a dark entity there, or do you think it was just your fear?
I don't know. I think I felt like it was because of what I'm already programmed with, but I have no proof. I didn't see anything.
What do you mean you're already programmed with?
Well, just being raised religious and anything like that that happens to you, it's automatic. Oh, it's evil and this and that. And I just don't know if I believe that anymore. But I think it brought up that fear. It triggered those when it used to happen when I was younger, and I was always told, "Oh, that's evil," it's whatever. So
That's pretty amazing, though. It's pretty
yeah.
amazing, amazing experience. With any time that you've had sleep paralysis, did you ever leave your body?
I don't think so. No, I've always been awake, just trying to yell for someone, not being able to talk or anything.
Hmm.
And always, of course, the weird buzzing and chills all over your body. It's like vibrating, like your body's vibrating. It's weird, but yeah. So
Well, that's pretty cool. I appreciate you sharing that with us. How
thank you.
often does it happen?
Um, but I don't know. It didn't happen. I thought I wasn't ever going through that again as an adult, and then it just happened. Like in 2021, I think it was right around there. It just picked up again, and I had 2 cents, and then now nothing. So I don't know. I don't know the formula, the rhyme, the reason. I don't know.
Would you say that that experience is the most extraordinary paranormal experience you've ever had?
Um, yeah, maybe it was the most scary.
Hmm.
I mean, I've seen orbs and stuff like that, and they weren't extraordinary and they weren't scary. But
You've seen them with your naked eye?
mhm.
Interesting. In your house or outside or where?
um, I was outside. We were doing some silly ghost hunting years ago, and I was in Gettysburg, of course, of all places. And yeah, it was at nighttime, so you could see them flying around. But
That's cool.
yeah,
Did you see
yeah,
the video that I posted, was it last night? 2 nights ago? The Orb Whisperer?
sure did.
Did they look like that?
Oh yeah,
Wow,
yep,
that's cool. That's great.
yep. And I could see faces in all of hers that she had up.
Mm-hmm.
I could totally see faces in them. And then she mentioned that near the end, and I was like, oh yeah, I could see those already.
It's awesome to have confirmation from
Hmm.
somebody else,
Yeah.
Well,
So
Janet, thank you so much for, staying and sharing with us. I know you weren't expecting to do it, but I really appreciate
no,
you for doing that. And I'm
well,
glad you finally made it to a live stream. So thank you for
me too. Thank you
thank you
so
for
much.
coming. And what you got to do now is just go to the YouTube channel
Okay.
and then you'll see it live there. And if you click there, you can be watching live and There's already 150 people on the chat. See, there's a great
Awesome.
community of people to hang out with, and
Yeah. Thank you so
have
much.
fun. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. We will give her a big. Oh, she's already gone. No, she's not. Give her a big round of applause. And next up is Rhonda. And before I bring Rhonda in, I want to let you know that if you want to join us live here, all you have to do is go to Zoom, click on Join a Meeting, and then it'll ask you for the room ID, and then that's in the description below, as well as the passcode. So that's all you have to do if you want to join and share with us. And the passcode is case sensitive, so make sure that, you know, where it's capital, you put it capital, and where it's lowercase, you do that. And we'll see you soon. Now let's bring in Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda.
Hey,
What's going on in Montana?
it is a beautiful sunny day today.
Do you see elk walking around where you live?
That's a great question. We see, well, I'll tell you, let me get my screen expanded here. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Because I'm like almost 50 miles from Glacier Park.
Mm-hmm.
In Glacier Park, there are, would you say moose? Yeah, there's moose, grizzly bears, black bears, mountain lions, elk and deer. Yeah,
Everything.
yes. Yeah, we're in an intact ecosystem here.
What
Glacier Park.
What town are you in?
I kind of hate to say I'm in
Oh.
a small town, and I hate to see somebody showing up at my house off of YouTube. Stranger things have happened. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm just off the Blackfeet Indian Reservation.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm about a mile off the reservation. I used to live on the reservation for about 23 years or 22 years.
You lived
And I
on the
just
res?
got a house. What's that?
You said you lived on the res for 20 years?
Oh yeah, 22 years. Yeah.
Wow. Are you part Indian?
Yeah, I have I'm like pretty far removed. I'm only like it was my great grandmother was Canadian Blackfoot, which in Montana they call them Blackfeet, and in Canada they're Blackfoot. Same basically original group of Indians.
Right.
They're actually well, in Blackfeet, let's see, Canada has the three bands in Canada. They're the Kainai Siksika and the Northern Pagan Skinny Pagani. Here in Montana is the Southern Pagan Indians, Amskapi Pagani.
Have you ever visited the shaman on the res?
Well, we don't hear, I never heard anybody use the word shaman here. How people refer to as medicine man, holy man. And I most definitely, I had a very interesting visit yesterday and the day before with a friend I hadn't seen in about 20 years. And I went into I didn't realize at the time, I went into a sweat lodge years ago with his grandfather, and I had been painted by his father. See, I don't want to say too much information because, you know, those kind of things are typically the kind of things that outsiders might be inclined to exploit. But I want to see. I got my painting. Let's see if I tilt this up. I move my painting to the living room.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Wow, you painted that?
No. I had it put it on the podcast about a year or two ago when I was on the live stream. Because my neighbors said they thought it was a portal to another dimension.
Mm-hmm.
And someone gave me the painting years ago. But since I got it in this room, I got it tilted so you can kind of see. Oh, let me take these up. No, I can't see. Anyways, I have a good story for you that I didn't think of. And because I've told about 10 supernatural stories on the live stream already, but years ago I got injured firefighting. I was a wildland firefighter years ago, and in 2001 we almost got caught in a fire, and there was kind of a little bit of a supernatural experience because just about a minute before that fire come up the mountain, everything went still. Like the birds were still, the bugs weren't making any noise. Everything in the forest there, we were in Idaho at that time, everything in the forest went quiet, like frozen still. And you could feel something was coming. And it was our first day on the fire that season. And that fire came from the bottom. It does sound like a freight train.
Wow.
And like a real loud freight train. And kind of like the sound, it was a pretty good swath of forest that burned, that took off that time. And we had just got out of the woods, and maybe a minute or two before that fire went through. And if we didn't get out of the trees when we did, 7 of us would have been toast.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was kind of a, like on the supernatural experiences. A lot of people talk about time standing still.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say when that minute before that fire come up the mountain, it was like time stood still, was froze for a second there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. I was looking at what's on your table. I thought you had some cocktails there, but looks like more of that.
Yeah. I figured I better try to jump on and
but then it looked like it was more like.
It's been a rough week. I don't.
Well, that's okay. I'm just kidding around.
And I thought, I'm getting drunk. I don't care.
I'm just kidding around.
Oh yeah, you can't see when I turn the computer, right? Oh, the song. So the supernatural song.
Mm-hmm.
See, I wrote down, I have a few verses with the different music. And so are we up for another verse or two?
Yeah, tell us a verse. Give us a verse or two.
You want my poor Blackfeet rendition. Do you want that line?
Whatever you want.
Well, I'd say, Jeff and Mara are supernatural. Yeah. Anyways, and then the Woodstock version. I'll go just with another version because I want our music to be all inclusive. So the Woodstock version. Give me a J. Give me an E. Give me an F. Give me an F. What's that spell? What's that spell? Come on, all of my supernatural friends.
Well, thank you so much for that.
Jeff and Mara need our help again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I better let you go, huh?
All right, Rhonda, I got to run. I got 2 people that have entered the waiting room.
Excellent.
But
well,
thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
You're welcome.
Love you.
Thanks for having me. What's the temperature in Texas?
No, well, it was 96 earlier.
Ooh.
In my car, it said it was 96 outside, so we're getting close to 100.
The Weather Channel looked like you're having a pretty good storm coming.
Hope so.
I don't know. Anyways.
All right, Rhonda, you have a good night. Thanks for coming.
You too.
Mhm. And there is a nice round of applause for Rhonda. All right, before I bring Michael in, I want to acknowledge a couple people, and I wanted to say thank you. Thank you to PD Pete. Thank you so much, PD Pete, for that super thanks. And it says, challenge round, perpetrate an act of love tomorrow. So he's challenging you for that, guys. And Jay Kerr, thank you for that super thanks. And it's saying, agree with Luke of Stroke's invitation to show our appreciation for all Jeff's fine work. Well, thank you. And thank you, Luke. All right, so let's bring Michael Suarez in. Michael is the dream detective. As you guys know, if you're new, Michael's a dream detective. He's been a guest, as well as he pops in on Saturday nights sometimes, and we'll see what's up. We'll see if he's got some dream analysis for us.
Good evening, Jeff.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
I'm going to answer with what my martial arts sensei taught me. He said, when people ask you how you're doing, the only acceptable answer is, good and getting better, sir.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. I used to always say that in my classes.
Well, what's new in the world of dreams?
Well, I like to, I really do consider part of my mission to share the knowledge of dreams, to share the basic knowledge of what dreams are. Sometimes that means serving people one-on-one, but certainly I'm a teacher by nature. So I really get excited to share these things generally and to point out the phenomena because they become relevant to all of us. That's what's so wonderful. That's what's so wonderful about the channel and the work that you're doing. And so there's actually, but I'm going to hold those. There's actually a few things in the future that I want to share because there's things in my heart to spiritually testimony that are fascinating, but I am very focused on talking about dreams. So one of the things that occurred to me that I thought you might find interesting, because you asked me this during our episode 745, you asked me, you said, and I gave you a small answer, so I wanted to give you an example because it's compelling. It's not the most cheerful, but you asked me about dreams where there's an indication of infidelity or cheating.
Okay.
Right? Because I've told you, not tons and tons, but anything that is a serious stress in the emotional makeup of the dreamer is what will manifest. Right? Now, the example I'm going to give you is very deep because this was a woman who came to me and she's like, I keep having these dreams about my soulmate, right? And she had this whole thing where she was like, I've never trusted anybody before, but I finally trust this person. So that was kind of the setup. As soon as she said that, my intellectual or intuitive spidey sense started going off. But I was like, okay. Now, I will say this. There is a question here in the dream I'm about to give, whether it's the emotional makeup of the dreamer or it's a spiritual warning. Okay. Ultimately, if I'm being, kind of like unbiased, I have to tell them that. But I do think this one leans a particular way. So it's pretty short, right? She kept having dreams where she was in her boyfriend's bed. She's sleeping there, which she does in real life. And then various things would happen. Like she would have a few of these dreams where somebody would be at the door, rustling it, messing with the doorknob or something. Now, all of those mean something, right? That, like, for example, just the doorknob shaking implies clearly what? What would we feel if we were there? We'd feel like something is suddenly going to be wrong. We have something to be alarmed about, okay? Now, again, we are going to go much deeper than this with this little example, which is profound. So she said that one of the dreams, she was, sleeping, turned away from the door. She heard someone come in and sit down on the bed next to her, and she didn't want to turn around, right? She didn't want to turn around to see who was there. But then she sort of like took a breath and turned and looked, and it was her boyfriend. And when she went to go grab, she actually said she turned around and saw her boyfriend, and then she went to go grab his hand. as she touched his hand, he turned into another person, right? And he cut her hand, like with a knife. She pulled, and then she woke up, right? Okay, so the dream itself is pretty clear, right? Do you already have a sense, Jeff, of what's going on here? I mean, the setup says something, but.
Sorry. You're saying it's an infidelity dream, but when are you saying that it's, I'm not really clear on who is committing the act of infidelity. I mean, when you say her boyfriend turns into someone else, is he turning into someone else she would like to be with?
Okay, good question. So again, and I try to keep my limits of what is logical for me to say and always make it like everybody can see it. So she had a lot of trust issues, and you begin to see what's happening in the dream. She's resting in his bed. That's the context. When we put that in symbolism, that means you're sort of you feel you're comforted, right?
Mm-hmm.
You feel comfort in that relationship. So she has sort of like putting her defenses down. Then someone sits down next to her and she doesn't want to turn. That's the next big symbol, right? She doesn't want to turn and face what's going on, meaning most likely how I interpreted this, and I did, again, this was a client, I saw this as her deep intuition. She was a very intuitive person, sort of giving her some sort of warning, okay? And the first part of it was she doesn't want to turn to face it. Then she takes a breath, like gathering your courage, turns and faces, and it's her boyfriend. And at first things are fine, but when she touches his hand, now the touching of hand is like the great symptom of intimacy, right? When she goes to touch his hand, she recognizes that he's not who she thought he was. See that? When that happens, now this is the most intense part, and where you can imagine for me as a dream detective, I'm actually talking to the person sometimes, these cases, because I got to call it like I see it, like I got to tell them what's going on. But to tell someone this is about as big a symptom or a symbol for betrayal as I've ever seen. When we get married, right, there's all this holding hands. There's the rings that go on the fingers. The hands symbolize this intimacy of romantic relationships. That's what they begin with. And then so the cutting is like a sign of betrayal of that. So that is just one example that I always thought stood out. I am actually, self-promotion, I am working on my next book, which in the volume called Dream Detective. The first one was about amazing messages, where people are getting sent messages through their dreams. That one is out now. This one is going to be juicy because it's about love, lust, and secret desires. That's what I call it at this point. But it's basically all the best dreams I've ever heard that have to do with like romance, sex, pornography. I mean, fascinating stuff.
So yeah. She touches his hand, he changes to somebody else, and then he cuts her hand?
Yes.
So are you saying, that to me tells me that she's the cheater. He gets angry and cuts her hand, and then he changed. I don't know. I'm not sure where tell us the final analysis of this.
Well, my sense of it very strongly was that he was betraying her, and she at a certain level knew it. Now I will say I would, I know this person, but I know them at a sort of, I know them at the level like we kind of know each other, right? We've talked, we've done stuff online together. But when I brought this to her, I said, look, sis, I got to tell you it like I see it. And what I see is that either there's a betrayal going on here, or you're so fearful and anxious about betrayal that's coming through. Right. That's the responsible way. But I did find that a few months later, that relationship ended. And for me, I felt like that was confirmation. This, again, especially even in the light of like, she was like, oh no, because she was so sure. But it's interesting if if I am correct, and I do believe I am correct in that interpretation, what we also get is that her dream was, first of all, we know it was talking, right? So let's at least get that straight. We know that it's talking. If I'm right, then it's also providing a warning, right? And that itself is very profound, because this is what I work in the art and science of how dreams are communicating to us, through us.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe she knew that he was cheating. She just didn't want to face it.
Yeah, I mean, remember, when you look at one of these dreams, the way that you can see it is just like a case. You start to put the pieces of evidence together. Remember, she said, and when you remember that each detail counts, like I always say, everything counts. The fact that when he sits on the bed, she says to me, as she's explaining it, I didn't want to turn around to see who it was. That is literally not wanting to face the situation.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, definitely, like you said.
Right. Hey, did you ever join our Discord group?
Yeah.
All right, great.
Yeah.
I know you do, that's your business, I guess. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that, people hire you to do dream analysis, but do you ever give away any free ones in the Discord?
I haven't done it in Discord yet, but it is something I definitely do. The way that the general model I use is, if you give me like a short dream, right, that I can just look at, like somebody said to me recently, which was fun, this is on Instagram, they were like, oh, I had a dream that all these dinosaurs were like destroying things. And to me, that's super clear that that's certain types of emotions that are very destructive, especially the way she described it. And she was like, oh my God, that's exactly, So I like to bless people, to stir up their mind, to get them to remember who, like what I'm doing, what the testimony is. And if it's a short one like that, and if a person's cool with me using it, like, hey, like then talking about it, I'm good. If it's a long one, then usually the person will hire me, because I go into tremendous detail, like on these long ones, because again, every detail counts, and then you start to see the whole thing together.
All right, so just a thought.
Yeah, definitely. It's been fun.
Well, Michael,
I've been going in.
What is your YouTube channel called again?
Creative Learning New York. And actually, Jeff,
it's right there on his hat.
I just posted the clip of the three of us, which it took me a while to edit, but the three of us, me, you, and Soren, when we did that, which is hopefully is okay.
Yeah.
When we did the interpretation together.
Cool.
So I'm always promoting, like JeffMara podcast.
Well, thank you so much.
Sure.
Well, Michael, I need to run to the next person, but thank you for coming and hanging with us. Don't be a stranger. And
sure.
we'll see you next time and hear some more dreams.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good night, guys.
All right, take care. And a big round of applause for Michael. All right, so up next, we have Dr. Gail. And we just had Dr. Gail on for a full hour just the other day, talking about ETs, and she's back. So I wonder what else that she's going to share with us. Let's bring her in. And it's 222 viewers. That's pretty cool. All right, so really I'd like to see it. I'm going to throw this out there when we have 1,111 viewers. That'll be really awesome. And I can look up and see we have 1111. So let's bring in Dr. Gail and see what she's up to this evening.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Gail.
How are you doing?
Great. I can't see you yet. There you are.
I just started my video.
All right, Dr. Gail, welcome back. Good to see you. Your background looks lovely. I like that. Was that the same one we used that time?
It's the same one. It might have been shifted a little different. Just might be positioned a little differently.
It looks great. So did many people contact you after our time together?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You're helping me on my journey to normalize our ET experiences. I've had, I can't tell you how many people, I can't even get back to all my emails.
Really?
And everybody, I'm slowly getting to them, and I will get to them. And yeah, it's been great.
Oh, that's amazing.
So many people are coming out. I haven't been able to tell anybody about this, and I've been worried about this, and and yeah, it's been really good. It's helping my mission on normalizing our ET experiences. We're not alone. We're all having them.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us are.
So, do you feel like you left out anything from the other day?
Well, there's I did a little bit more confirmation, like March 22nd
Mm-hmm.
came up big,
Hmm.
and it was the shift from 3D to 5D that we're now going to 5D, heading that way, and we're not going backwards. So that was a huge one because I think that came up when you were asking me questions.
Yeah, I remember you talked about March 21st. You're saying that it came up, but is there anything that you recognize that confirms it for you? Like something,
Yeah, just
what's,
talking to my friends that going, especially one friend I have that she had said something about March 22nd, and I had confirmed it with her that that is what was happening. Also, I was wanting to talk about when I had the fear of meeting the ETs and ask them not to scare me. You
yeah.
know,
Mhm.
well, what I was saying not to scare me is I was afraid there was going to be one standing behind the tree jumping out at me like a
Oh,
boogeyman.
mhm.
So that's the fear I had, that I would be just shocked.
So if you saw a gray alien when you walked out on your porch one night, you wouldn't get startled or scared.
Not now, because they do come in my bedroom, so they don't startle me or scare me now.
No,
At,
that's during waking hours.
that wakes me up at night.
Wow.
And um, and when I did meet these two human ones, that was probably at least a year or 2 years ago. So I've evolved a whole lot since that time.
Is it possible, and I'm asking a lot here, but do you think it's possible that even if we could get a human looking ET to join me here on my Saturday Night Live,
I don't know.
that would be really cool?
It would be cool.
What a way to disclose ETs to the world and do it right here live.
And on your channel.
Yes.
Well, just think what the repercussions of that would be, though. Can you imagine if I had one sitting here? Who would be knocking on my door or knocking on your door, going,
That's
"Who was
right.
that was sitting next to you?"
That's right. The
Come on,
men,
here, we'd be coming off in handcuffs or something.
if there is a Men in Black, I may get a phone call after that podcast.
Yes, exactly. And that's kind of how I feel about if I had proof, like pictures or artifacts or
Mm-hmm.
things like that. I feel like the whole focus would only be on that. It wouldn't be on my mission of normalizing. I just feel like that's all we would focus on. Let's look at this picture and every detail in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I've been blessed that that would interfere with my kind of mission that I am doing.
You know,
So
I had a guest, and I can't remember his name. It was at least a year ago, and it's a gentleman in Australia, and he sets up infrared cameras in his house. And we didn't get to show it on mine, but it's on his YouTube channel, and he has an infrared channel of he's like pointing it like he's sitting on the couch, and he kind of points it catty cornered,
uh-huh.
and I looked at the footage, and it's like the infrared footage, but it is pretty cool. I mean, almost pretty spooky. You see like here's the corner, and then you see the ET's head kind of pop around,
Wow,
and then his eyes move, and then he moves back.
that's cool.
And it's in this kind of infrared, kind of fuzzy black and white footage. But I wish you would. I would love to see you take a look at that, and I would like to see your take on that.
Yeah, I would. If you'll email me that information.
Yeah, I'll have to email you his name. I just don't remember, but he's based out of Australia.
Okay. Well, I wanted to address all the comments that I was getting,
Great, yeah.
and I got some great comments, and also the negative ones are great comments. Those
We
are
are-
actually my favorites.
Oh, well, excuse me, there's always going to be probably some amount of negative
Yeah,
comments.
well,
I
the
even
thing-
get them against me personally, so, that's
Well,
okay.
Well, that's okay, because everybody, this is all new to me. It's 2020 July that my awakening came. Before that, I'd have been the person in there going, "Oh, that girl's crazy." Yeah, I'd been going, "Something's wrong with her," but I wouldn't have written it. I'd have been nice about it. But so I understand all the people who don't understand what I'm doing or think I'm a little wackadoo. Well, I was there. I was there with you. I understand you. I understand the skepticism. And I even look at myself sometimes going, "Oh, she must have a brain tumor. She needs to." So, I understand. So that everybody, that's okay. If you are skeptic or running negative, It's okay. It's fine. I understand it. I've been there. I've been recently there.
Yeah, and I mean, well, I have an amazing audience and they are open-minded, but imagine the people that are not open-minded.
Yes.
And you know
Yes.
the science community. You're a scientist yourself, so
Yeah, that's where I come from, is the science background, the medical background. So I definitely understand. You do too.
mhm. Do you think though that you could ever get a picture of something? Picture of a being or a craft?
Probably they have told me I can. I just haven't done it.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Well, okay. Well, here's what happened. You're in the moment. Your eyes are wide open. Your jaw's dropping.
Yeah,
And the last thing you think of is pick up a camera.
right. Now I
I
got a
mean,
I think I have a question here from the chat. Without ego, saying, I was going to ask what you personally use for research on non sapien life, societies, and existences.
I really don't do much research. My information comes directly from them. And in fact, when I started my journey, I was trying to buy a lot of books to read up on everything, and the pages will become blank
Mm.
because they wanted me as a blank slate for the information to come directly from them. So I don't have that kind of research. I'm not a real research person anyway.
You know, I should have asked, now that I'm thinking about it, next time, whenever you're talking to them, it'd be interesting to get their take on why do some of my near-death experiencers see ETs on the other side?
Because those are their family.
Their are they hearing it right now?
Yeah, they're whenever I go live, I have
Can the people in the chat give you questions and I'll read them to you and you can ask the ETs?
yes, and I do that on my lives on my channel.
Okay, great. So then if anybody has a question, just type it in the chat. Now, I would like you to ask this. Some of my near-death experiencers go to a place that we are calling the water planet. And it's basically
The what?
all water. I'm calling it the water. It's a planet that's all water, and all the beings there are like liquid-like beings. Do they know
Yeah.
about that?
Well, there's several. There's more than one water planet. Cetus B is a water planet that I have visited, and that's when I took my human body off and put a well body on and went swimming with them.
Hmm.
So that's the water planet. I've also been into Atlantis, that is all water, and Atlantis is still around, but it's all water, and it's like different densities of water in Atlantis when you go in there. So there's several water things, several water places. So in a near-death experience, I think what they're doing is they're going back to where they're originally from, and it could be either like Cetus B or Atlantis or something like that. It's probably what they're doing.
Interesting, because you're not the first person to call it Sirius B.
Oh, Sirius B and Cetus B. Both of those.
Cetus. I've never heard of Cetus B.
Well, that's the planet I went and visited. Sirius B is kind of a normalized one that we all hear about, and that is a water planet. And Cetus B is also another water planet, and that's Cetus. And Sirius, I think, is R. Anyway, those are two different places, and both of those are water.
Mm.
But we're more familiar with Sirius B.
Okay, I think I've seen a good one. Here's a great one from Joyce. After we transition to the other side, do we have a choice whether we could come back as human or go and reincarnate as an alien?
Yes. You have a team when you go over there, and after you go through your reviews and your schools and you sit down with your team, you decide what you need next. If you're going to go to another planet or if you can come back to Earth, it's a team. It's a group decision.
All right. Here's another one. Here's one from Julie. Are ETs impacted by Earth's gravity?
When they're here, yeah.
Well, maybe is the gravity on our planet stronger or lesser than their own planet?
Yeah, there's some that can't tolerate our gravity on Earth. There are some that can't. So there are only the certain ones that can tolerate it, and sometimes they can't tolerate it, but at the length of time they can't live here like we do. So in that, I can't blanketly say that's for all ETs. That would be for each individual different type of ET species.
All right. There was one I saw here. Now they're starting to come in, so it's hard to keep up. If you have Rh negative blood, are you of alien origin?
I've heard that over and over and over again. People ask me, that's a very common question that's asked. And I am not real sure. Me personally, they have never said that that made a difference. But I know that's kind of like pop culture back in I don't remember, the 80s, that if you had Rh negative, you were alien. There could be some strand of truth to that, but I'm not aware of it.
Hmm. All right, give me a second. Here's one from Without Ego. Is the hag, in quotations, Greys or Zeta reticulans? I've never heard of the hag. Do you know the hag?
I'm not. That's something maybe you can educate us on.
What if you ask the ETs?
The issue with asking the ET about names like that is like they don't identify with the names that we give them.
Okay.
Like Greys or Grey Reticula or hags or what they don't kind of recognize that kind of that's not their real names. That's not what they call themselves.
All right.
Grey Reticulans they do, but most blankly calling them Greys or whatever. But I don't know that one. He can I don't know if it's him or he or she, but maybe he can email me and give me a little information and I can look at more into that.
All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let me kind of scroll through these. Here's kind of, maybe this is a funny one, but I don't know if this is a joke or not, but maybe it still could be serious. The question is, do aliens dance?
Yes.
Yes. So see, you already.
Yes, I've got one. I have one. Whenever I do, which I'm getting ready to start up another YouTube channel that is going to be all about healings, and I have a special guide who's just for that, and his name is Medical Mike, and he is a gray hybrid, and he dances all the time. He prances, dances. He's always dancing. So yes, they do dance.
Oh, cool. Well, why not? I mean, they can have fun too, right?
Yeah, they have a lot of fun. They have a good sense of humor. And again, that's not all of them. It's all different. They're all different.
What is your favorite type of alien, if you have one?
Well, because I'm Arcturian, the Arcturians.
Arcturians?
Yeah.
What is it? I mean, is that just because you are one, or what is their characteristics that you like about them?
Well, I would say they're healers. I mean, I like the Palladians. I like the Arcturians. I like them all, but because I identify with the Arcturians, they're very scientific, and they're healers. They're a little more reserved than a lot of them, and so, but I'm a human Arcturian hybrid. That's what I am. So, but they call me a human hybrid. But so because that's my family, that I'm going to be gravitating towards Arcturians.
Here's one. Are giants a hybrid humans? Like, I guess giant humans, are they hybrids?
Well, again, it's hard to categorize that into one specific because you've got the different ETs that came before the humans developed, and they were giants. So I would say some probably are and some probably aren't. I know that's a little wishy-washy answer, but I don't think we can categorize it all as one.
Can a person request you to scan their body for implants and have them removed if they're there? I guess that's for you.
Yeah, yes, and we've opened up my scheduling again on my website, which is Dr. Gail's Starseed Healer, and there's a schedule there that you can go in and schedule an appointment with me. It takes about an hour that I'll scan you and see if you have implants.
How you can do that, like through Zoom?
It's energetic that I'm doing it.
Oh, energetic implants. What do you think about? Do you remember the guy? I think he died, but his website was alienscalpel.com. It was a medical doctor that used to cut him out of people. Do you remember him? I forgot his name.
No, I didn't. But mine is I take them up to a spaceship and remove them. So it's a whole hour, and it's a lot. It's very involved because what I'm doing is if there's a negative entity attached to it, I have to get rid of that. I remove the implant. Then I have to balance the chakras. I have to balance the chemistries and hormones and energy. And I do color therapy. So there's a lot more involved than just taking out an implant. You've got to raise the vibration of that person so that negative entity doesn't come back and put another implant in them.
All right. Let's see what's going on here. Anything else that we got here? Are there common implants that you see more of than others? That's a good question.
I wouldn't say I see common implants, but the pineal gland is the most common place for them to place it
Why there?
because that kind of blocks the third eye. So when they're usually trying to get the people that have gifts and they want to not let them use those gifts, so they'll put an implant there. And so when I remove it, that person, well, then all of a sudden their gifts will start coming in and their vibration will raise, and that then they're not even interested in them anymore.
Here's another question from Eldar. What experience from the water world had the biggest impact on you?
Wow. I think the most fascinating thing I saw was when I was at the beach, and it was in North Carolina Beach, and when I saw the jellyfish. The jellyfish came flying out of the water and pulled their tentacles up and turned into spaceships. I thought that was the most fascinating thing I'd ever seen.
Wow. Here's another one. Where was it? I lost it. Are biblical leviathans the same species as draconians?
I have no idea. I'm sorry. I don't even know what that is.
All right. Let's see another one. That's a great one. If someone has implants, would they have any symptoms? And if so, what would they be?
Well, only the negative implants are the ones you worry about. And those people usually are very angry. They have outbursts, sad, depression, even suicidal thoughts. Those are the ones with the negative implants that we need to worry about.
All right. Let me see. 1 second.
Some good questions, everybody.
Let me see. See, let me kind of go through here. How do aliens view us? Like as brother and sisters, or as like, very inferior beings?
No, they look at us like we're their children. We are them. They are us. We're their children. But when I first started doing this work, they look at us like a bag of water. Like so, our structure and everything, they say humans are a bag of water. We're skinned with water inside. So that's how they look at us. But emotionally, they look at us like children.
What do the aliens think about all of us being in a simulation?
I just don't know about that. And I tried to get clear answers on that, and they're not really wanting to divulge that information. I don't know if we're not ready for it, if it's not true, but I just don't know. And I don't think they want me to know.
Do you think the ETs are here to prevent World War III?
Well, they do. I don't like going into that area that much in public.
Okay.
They do a lot of interference on humans on those type of areas. So, yes.
All right. Well, can you tell us, we talked about that you rescue humans and you rescue ETs.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about one of the rescues, like go through one of the rescues that you've done before?
Sure. In fact, I'm getting ready. They've just given permission. I have to get a lot of times permission on what I'm ready to reveal. And and I'm not going to use definite words, but the war that we are having now, I was sent with a team over to Germany for a mission, and I was the medical officer in charge. And there were refugees coming from a country, and they were coming in And when the doors opened, I was expecting families, children, everybody coming out of it. And it turned out it was the elderly and only children and elderly, and a few mothers with children, single mothers with children. And when those doors opened, and it was all those, they turned out to be Holocaust victims that were coming back to Germany. It was awful. Anyway, we had to change everything in the middle of it. And there's a guy that works with me, or we had just started working together. And he's on the military side, and I'm on the medical side. He helped because the first thing I did was say, we have to have chairs. These people can't stand in lines because they were supposed to get off the train. We were to triage them and send them to buses. And when I saw what was getting off, we had to stop everything, get chairs for them to sit. I had to get, blood pressures, glucometers, had to do, check their blood sugars, had to feed them because these people were in their like 80s, 90s, 100s. They were very elderly and very weak. So a mission that was supposed to take like 4 hours turned into a day and a half. And the whole town came out to help in Germany, the whole town. Everybody poured out for help. So that was the mission that I was just given permission that I'm able to talk about now. There's a lot that I do that I can't talk about, but that was one of them that they've just given me permission to talk about.
Do aliens have their own belief systems like religion?
I've never seen them practice any kind of specific religion, but it looks like they're more like a collective, like there's a source or more of a, but individual religions like we have on Earth, no, I have not seen that.
All right, here's one. How old are the alien races compared to the human race?
No, very old. Well, they were here before we were. So we're actually the aliens. They're not. So they're much older and they live much longer than we do. We really have a short lifespan compared to them.
All right, what can I say to the aliens to let me be able to see their spacecraft from their backyard or garden?
I've asked that question a lot, and I'm not real sure because a lot of it is letting your own fear down, because we ask and we want to see it, but then we're like me when I said I was ready to see ETs, and I said, but don't scare me. So we all go back and forth, and if you see one, you get scared, and then it goes away because I don't want to scare you. So I think you just have to take baby steps towards that.
All right. Well, Dr. Gail, if people want to, what is your YouTube channel called? I'll just put the question at that. Is it Dr. Gail?
Yeah, it's Dr. Gail, Skywalking with Moon.
Okay.
And I'm getting ready to open my next channel, and that's the healing channel. And I'll be up in a few days, and that'll be Dr. Gail, Starseed Healer. And then we'll be doing some healings for an hour on that show. Cool. Well, if you guys want to check out more of Dr. Gail's content, you know where to see that. And we did a video that we posted, I guess. When did we post that? Monday, Tuesday? I forgot. Last week. Yeah, the first of the week. Yeah, we just posted a video. So if you guys haven't seen that, check it out. And you can learn more about Dr. Gail. And on that note, Dr. Gail, thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I appreciate you. I've got to run. I've got 2 people waiting on you. But yes, I appreciate it. And thank you for everything. And thanks for helping me on my mission and journey. All right. Thank you. And here's a big applause to you before you go. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but it's there. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was Dr. Gail. Next up is Stephen Kale. Now, is that Stephen Cake, but it's spelled Kale, or is it somebody new? Let's find out. It is Mr. Cake.
Hello, Jeff.
Are you? Hello? Whoa, you got the glow balls.
Well, what I do is I meditate in the dark with my energy balls. They can sense my energy. Oh, yeah, yeah. I let the spirits move me. Spirits, tell me what to say, huh? They say, I love you very much, Jeff. You're wonderful. And Mara, you're wonderful as well. I love everyone.
We all love you.
I'm channeling here, channeling. I'm connecting with the highest spirit in the universe right now. He says, everyone's great.
You should have juggled for us a little bit with those glow balls.
I'm my juggling, darling. It's wonderful.
Everybody would love to see it.
Yes, I'm juggling.
No, but you got to do it in the dark. Turn your light back off. There we go.
The dark, in the dark.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Hey, there you're juggling. Now we can call you the Orb Juggler.
Yo, I'm juggling, folks. It's wonderful out here. We're going to have full disclosure with the aliens, yeah? This is how I signal them in. I wave them up into the air, catch the ball. Ooh. Oh, hey. Robin Williams. I love him.
Great job.
Let's turn. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I say, God made it easy for me to do that. Last September, I tell this story. Last September, I was on my hands and knees begging God. I said, please help me. Mm-hmm. And they started talking to me and they said, we'll do as much as we can over here.
We're doing all we can.
Yeah, so that went through. And then at one point they told me, don't come on the show anymore.
Yeah.
They were taking over my voice. I wouldn't go in. My life was, they took me over so I could go have infected teeth removed. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't say what I wanted to say. I yeah, but they made it easier for me to move, talk, do impressions, all these things. Mm-hmm. Talk to people. I love people now.
Now,
yeah.
What did you talk about on your latest Walk and Talk with God?
Well, it's me complaining about how you should be able to just say, hey, I want help with something, and people should help. That's how it is. And you shouldn't feel like, because I say now, instead of God, it's like at the end of the whole enlightenment, it's like you get up there and they say, well, you can do what you want to do. If you want to be an enlightened person, you can go do it. But I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to be a nice guy, having a nice life. I mean, I don't really, because they said, I'm like, why don't they put someone else in this? I thought I was in the God slot. Thought I was like, am I the next coming? Not Jesus Christ, but like, someone that God would want to bring about world peace. That's what it was all about. Getting along, doing that.
All right. I recorded an NDE today, and out of over 500 NDEs, this was the first time that I had a guest that not only before her NDE, she was an atheist, but even after her NDE, she still is an atheist.
Yeah. And so this is how I joke. I call it the mind jackers. They hijack my mind. They're in there and they tell me there's no God. It's reality, and that manifests as different phenomena. It can manifest as God, as spirit guides, as aliens, as I even think Bigfoot. I saw a UFO and I'm still like scratching my head. What was that thing? So it's like, this is what they told me. No one will ever figure it out. It's kind of like reality is a mystery. And I was looking for the truth. And they said, we can only give you a belief. We can't give you the truth.
Do you think, though, that when we go to the other side, we'll get all the answers that we're seeking?
Well, what they tell me is that we just live, and that's it. There's no death. We just live. And there's no explanation for why we're here. Because that's the whole question. Like, why am I me? Why are you you? Why was I born? Am I here for a reason or a purpose?
And I guess they say whatever you want to believe, that's why.
Well, this is how I describe it, is that it's like a greater mind. We have a lesser mind and there's a greater mind, and that mind knows exactly what to give us that will they disagree when I say convince us. They say they just believe what they believe. Because when I look back, I go, I was stupid for believing that. And they said, no, that's just what you believed. Because I always say, like, they disagree with me, but I say we're in a belief system, and we're trying to, no one agrees. Because it's like, when I was never part of an official belief system, but I would try to like justify this belief in this religion and this, and like I was talking to my spirit guides and I was like, how do they line up with Christianity? And they say, oh, they're demons. And it's like, how do you can't, and like, how does reincarnation square up with hell? And like, and then some people believe in annihilation. And it's like, it just goes on and on and on. And then they put me in a game world, or they explained reality, that we were in a game world. And it was an old earth, but they had Adam and Eve in it. Adam and Eve, it was an experiment to see if creation would turn on the creator, if they just kept creating things and eventually they got too powerful and then they would turn on the creator.
Did they tell you that there is no good or evil, no right or wrong? There just is?
They always talk about how it's like people have their likes and their wants. And so they said, there was an enlightened guy who said he's above karma. And they explained to me that there is no karma, but it's like people don't like that. So if you're doing things bad, people are not going to like it. So it's like, that's why I think it's better to be nice to people and get along, because the world's going to be much better like that.
Yeah.
Fighting is stupid.
Well, what do they say about Trump? Interesting, he froze. Maybe that question wasn't supposed to be answered. If he froze. Are you there? He's frozen.
Oh, am I locked up?
Yeah. Now you're back. Well, you were back.
Hey, Jeff. Oh.
Did you? So did you hear my? What's interesting? Did you?
Like your last video.
I was gonna say, did you hear my question that caused you to freeze? You there?
Yeah, I can hear you. That's the thing.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I asked the question, what do they think about Trump? And then you immediately froze. And see, that's the second time I asked that and he froze again. Guess I shouldn't ask that again.
Down. I can't tell how bad my connection is here. But that's life, I guess. We have bad internet.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I was saying, what did those people tell you about Trump? And then you froze.
Well, it might be a little bit too controversial on this one here.
I'm just kidding around. I was just seeing what kind of, impression you would do of Trump.
Oh, not too good, folks. Not too good. Yeah, I spoke about it. Like, oh yeah, they say our country is kind of screwed. That's what they say.
Uh-oh. Now, you were just going to ask me about my last video.
Yeah.
Or you were going to comment about it or something.
Yeah, this is interesting because I was getting these weird, this is before the Enlightenment. I was getting like different lights, and I had like a light in my window and I was so confused. And then I noticed that my camera was picking up the light on my phone that detects my face. And I said, I can't see that light, but when I put on the camera, I can see it. And I was like, it kind of clicked. I'm like, that's maybe the lights are not visible to my eyes that I was picking up on, but the camera can pick it up. And so I think some of your guests mentioned that there's different cameras that can pick up what our eyes aren't seeing.
What you mean about the orbs?
Yeah, orbs, or I had this, I called it the magic box, is this light box in my window. And when I looked, I didn't see anything, but it picked up on the camera. And it looked like a person was in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I was getting I still don't know, but it wasn't visible with my eyes.
Well, you know, I thought you were talking about orbs, and the good thing is even you or your camera picks up orbs because I've seen your videos.
Yes, I pick up orbs all the time. My green, this is sensing my energy. I can feel the purple energy. I love it. I love it. Orange, green. Feels right into my heart chakra. That's another thing they told me about our belief systems is like for instance, I thought that we had chakra systems, but that's just another belief system. So it's like everything is a belief system, and that, but it makes sense to us at the time because there's phenomenon behind it. Because I was looking into it with use kinesiology. It was where to do the muscle testing. But then during the Enlightenment, they said, we'll just give you the numbers. So I was doing this, and it would be strong for a yes. They're doing it right now. See, that's weak, strong. And then they would just give me the numbers because they had a mind. I called it the mind interface. It's like I could just see numbers. So I'd look at a sign, and I could see the numbers on the sign. Or I could see blessings and curses. Where, things were doing things out of love, blessed it. So, but now I don't believe there's blessings or curses, but it's just like, what's going to work for us. That's really comes back to it. Like, I don't want people mistreating animals and stuff like that, so that's or mistreating people or being violent and angry, but that's just the world we live in. People, there's a lot of frustration and whatnot.
Right. Well, Stephen, I've got to do what I've got to do. I've got 4 people in the waiting room, brother.
Right, man. Well, thanks for having me on there.
It was beautiful.
Have a great night, everyone.
All right, you take care, brother.
God bless.
God bless you. Oh, all right. We got to give Stephen a round of applause. And I missed this one. I wanted to say to Andre, thank you for that super thanks. I really appreciate it. And it says, I greatly appreciate all the time you and Mara put into the channel. I look forward to Saturday night live stream. Thank you again, Andre. All right. So I see Ariel there. And Ariel was one of my guests. We did a full podcast together.
Hello.
All right. I was going to say, I didn't want to put you on the spot, but I told Ariel that, Ariel's a singer. And I said, you need to come on Saturday night and sing one of your songs. I didn't want to say that in case you weren't ready to sing, but now that you're ready.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. So, all right. Well, what do you want to sing for us today?
This is actually one of my originals.
Cool. What's it about?
Yeah. It's a little bit about my journey and what I learned, and it's about us learning to trust, fall into love.
When you're saying it's about your journey, is it also about your NDE?
Yeah, it's a mix of two, right? And walking it out here on the face of the earth, and then also what I experienced in that.
All right, awesome. Yeah. So for those of
you,
do you remember what your podcast number was? Because I don't.
I don't remember the number, but I know if you search up Ariel Hooper NDE The Matrix, it comes right out.
Right. So Ariel's one of them she woke up in a pod on the other side, and she would probably agree that we're living in the Matrix or some type of simulation.
Yes, very much.
So if you want to know more about that, then contact Ariel offline. She may be happy to tell you about that. All right, Ariel, whenever you're ready, go for it. We'll say we'll be here and watch.
All right. All right. So, sorry, my guitar.
All right, I'll give you the floor.
As the sun trickles down the hourglass, are we running out of time when we see through the lens? Are we hiding from the light? Are we too afraid to stand for what's right? You and I, the entire universe, saw the light gaze into the mirror. Cannot gaze and see. Take the snow. Friends, love is never ending. Oh, love is never ending. We were birthed in that breath from the void of a solid state of love. From a void of darkness to a ray of light, to the potted clay you're in. Oh, and light has been shining through the darkness for some time. Will you close your eyes and leave the fallen thinking behind? We can gaze, drop, take, but embrace. It's never ending. Oh, love is never ending. Life is not what it seems. Chaos is an illusion disrupting your program. Can we leave fear all behind? Trust fall into the bliss of love. You and I know the humanity is in this cycle. We can stop fueling the fire. We cannot stop fueling the fire. Trust fall into the silence of love. We can know image we got one to trust that is so fun. Love is never ending. Love is never ending. Love is never ending. Love is never ending. No, it's never ending.
Ariel. Great job, Ariel.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great voice.
Thank you.
You were. It was like, I think that your voice is actually a little bit too powerful for your microphone.
Maybe. Whoops. Sorry.
It's okay. When you go back and listen to it, it was like it was like you were between the microphone couldn't handle your voice, and sometimes your green screen would kind of, you with those auto green screens, sometimes it doesn't it doesn't show you, so it looked like you were going in and out of dimensions.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually when I was in Grand Isle, there was this producer recording me with actual real equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Did I just take LSD?" And I went, "What?" He goes, we got to remove a microphone. You can't even have a microphone. It's making weird glitches.
Wow.
But I hang on, and he reverses the video, goes, "Dude, look." And it was like all these dimensional colors and everything, and I was fading in and out. So he was like, "I don't even know." And he tried 3 different, like, really high-end cameras and the same thing on all of them. So he just finally took an old tape recorder and hit record.
Wow. Wow. Well, some in the ears, they affect electronics and stuff.
And yeah, I do that. I set off fire alarms, and I make the stores in the grocery store when I go shopping, the lights flicker as I'm walking through. And
oh, cool.
Yeah, so I just stay off grid and as far away from it as much as I can. But my small town's used to me now, so they just laugh now, so it's not so bad. But
You know,
Yeah, I've messed up electronics since I've come back.
I've saw you, you know, you had, what, is everything okay with your health? Because I saw on your Facebook page not too long ago you were in the hospital or something.
Yeah, it's not been really good. I have a bunch of stuff wrong with me, but like I suffer with 8 different diseases, but recently I have Lyme disease, but it turned into Lyme carditis and started eating at my heart. So my lower left ventricle and sinus, basically sinus, what is it, cardia area, whatever it's called. There's a
Hmm.
special area in the center of the heart that's not functioning properly, and then my lower left ventricle. So I've got some procedures this week. They're not sure if they can do anything. So it's been really tough, to be honest. I'm most of the time, like, I tried to get to Canada to go see my kids, and I ended up coming back home to be at the mountains so that I was close to the hospital here because they know how to deal with that. We're in Canada, they don't know how to deal with that kind of Lyme stuff. So I was like, I better stay here. So I spent Easter on the mountain, which isn't bad, but
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
tough.
Have you had any new paranormal experiences lately?
Nonstop. They don't stop. And I mean, it's been interesting. The place that I'm on, we're building this holistic health retreat center. And I found like even just stones with hieroglyphics on it. And I've found that even here, like I'm having these experiences, like, and even so it was my business partner, like all of a sudden she's like, dude, we were in a ship, like,
Wow.
and we're coming out from our night states and we're coming out as if it's still that. So we're just continuing on our conversation as if it was where we were in the realms traveling. So like, it seems that people who come around me are starting to have the same kinds of experiences. If they're not, then they're just really angry at me all of a sudden because it's like I'm a reflector, so now they're seeing their stuff. So if they're running and they're not wanting to broaden their minds and their hearts, then a lot of times they'll just get mad and leave. But if people are in a place where they're really wanting to go after themselves and go into the mirrored image and become one with who they really are, they tend to start, all of a sudden I find like I'm in an astro and they're right there with me and they're coming awake in the morning fully describing the things that I was at, and even coming to places where they've gotten to experience some of what I had in my NDE as well. So they're like, hey, I know what you are, so they'll come out and say this stuff and I'm like, whoa, that was you. So it seems to be spreading, I guess, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Ariel, I appreciate you coming and singing for us. Please come back and sing again.
Thank you.
I have to run. I've got 3 people in the waiting room, but
All right.
it's so nice to see you, and I wish you the best, and don't be a stranger.
All right. Thanks. Take it easy.
All right, you take care, Ariel.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
And a big round of applause for Ariel. And I better say these before they get by me real quick. I wanted to say to Jay Che or Choi, thank you so much for that super thanks. Move this out of the way. Hi, Jeff and Mara, and hello again for all of you beautiful souls. Peace and love. So thank you again, Jay Che. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. All right, there's another one that I missed. A couple more. Elise Hill gifted a podcast membership. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Elise. I appreciate that. And Tristan Early, 1111. Thank you so much, Tristan. We appreciate the super thanks. All right, let's bring in Samsung S31DL. What Samsung model that is, I don't know. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
That's great. What part, where are you? Are you in your house or in a building?
Well, I'm at a shop. I'm in Denver, so it's a CBD shop.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm in the security room. that's all like the security, and then outside the room here we got the big screen that has the cameras that surround the whole place.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
just in the security room right now.
All right. I'm curious because no one puts an exit sign like that in their house. So I was like,
Oh
okay, she can't
yeah.
be at home.
Yeah, I'm at a shop. My son actually lives here. The basement is like almost like an apartment underneath
Hmm.
the shop. So
Wow.
he lives in the basement.
This
And
is
I'm up top.
this is your business?
No, it's my son's friend's business.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So yeah.
Well, you
So
you shared a nice experience with us last week. What do you have to share this week?
yeah, I'm actually gonna share two small ones because I
Okay.
know I only got 15 minutes, so these won't take long at all.
Okay.
But I was watching and I was only gonna speak about one, but then I saw your show that you posted this morning with that lady,
Mm-hmm.
and she was talking about being like out of like 3 dimension or seeing herself as outside herself deal. She explained it a different way, but when she said it, it just reminded me of my own personal situation. But
So you
so
felt
I
like so you feel like you were in 3 places at one time before as well?
right. So and well, I don't know if it's 3 persons, but when she explained it, it seemed like what I had went through. I just knew that what I had went through was definitely uh uh, a spiritual thing, something happening spiritually, and I knew it at the time, and I've talked about it often to many different people. But so in my situation, I travel a lot in an RV, and generally, if I'm not at my destination, I'll park at a Walmart overnight to drive more to get to my destination. And so usually when I park in like a Walmart or some kind of parking lot, people come to me, and that's the only way I can describe it. People come to me. We end up getting into conversation. They end up inside my RV. I end up cooking everybody dinner, and it's
Wow.
just this whole event.
So just random people come up to your RV door and knock on the door and say, "Hey, can I come in?"
Yes,
Wow.
yes,
Do you feel like
everywhere.
it's safe to park your RV in Walmart parking lots?
Yeah, they got cameras all over the whole parking lot, so you're covered with cameras. And most Walmarts now, I mean, I've traveled 33 states, and just about every Walmart that I've been in, if there wasn't security there, there was at least cameras and like security, some sort of security monitoring going on. There's no Walmarts that are just unsecured anywhere that I've found.
Hmm.
And I've stayed at many, I've spent the night at, because if I'm heading from North Carolina to Colorado, I'll stop every other state getting there to spend the night to get sleep and then get back on the road the next day. So I've been in multiple Walmarts in multiple different states, multiple different times. I've been on the road for 8 years. So,
Wow.
so, but this specific time I was in North Carolina, and my son, who's 18 now, he'll be 19 soon. He was 16 then, and he was with me on this trip. But so what had happened is I met in different time frames of the same day. I met this guy, and then I met this girl. And as soon as I saw the girl, I knew right away that girl's going to be at my RV tonight. I knew it instantly. And then the guy was just parked next to me, and he had like this wolf dog, like a husky type dog in the back of his car. And when I stepped out, I was going to go into Walmart. He said hello to me, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing? You got a beautiful dog." And then that just started the conversation. So both of them, two separate people that didn't know each other, were in my RV that night, and I cooked a big dinner and this, that, and the other. But I've had so many downloads in my spiritual walk. Like, I can't explain it. Some of the downloads, some of the things that I know, I can't just tell you. It's just in me, and that's the only way I can describe it. It's in me, it's in there, but I don't know how to like in not a spiritual state, I don't know how to get it out. It's there and I can see it, but I can't get it off my tongue. That's the only way I can describe it. So this specific night, I feel like when it happens to me, I literally feel like this energy come from up above me, and it just whooshes through my body, and I know instantly that something is about to come out of my mouth. So we're just hanging out in the RV. I think we just got done eating, and all of a sudden I felt the whoosh feeling go through my body, and I knew something was about to happen. So all of a sudden words just started coming out of my mouth to the two people that were sitting there. And as they were coming out of my mouth, I all of a sudden saw myself step back from myself. So now I'm standing here, I'm looking at myself there, and I'm watching and hearing what's coming out of my mouth. And I'm just standing back like this. I'm like, oh my gosh, where are these words coming? You know, this is what's going on in my person that's standing behind my physical self. And I'm like, these words are my, I was blown away by the words that were coming out of my mouth. Like that's the only way that I can describe it. I stepped back from myself, saw myself standing ahead of me, and these words coming out of my mouth that were just mind blowing. And I can't tell you what they were. I can't tell you what they were. This type of stuff has happened to me so many times. And that happened, 3.5, almost 4 years ago. So it's like, there's no way I'm going to figure out or remember what I said at that time.
It kind of sounds like to me that you're channeling.
Channeling myself?
Maybe your higher self.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've never, until I found an NDEs like 4 months ago, I just kept this kind of stuff to myself, unless I was telling my kids or something like that. But I don't tell people this stuff because I feel like they're going to think I'm crazy, because it's so hard to explain it. And it's not, I don't ever have control over it. It just happens.
But
like,
are you saying you're not aware of what you're saying when you're saying it? Or you don't know what's going to come out?
No. I'm aware of what's coming out of my mouth when I'm saying it, and I'm aware of seeing myself back here looking at myself in front of me. I'm just not aware of when it's going to happen.
And you
know what I mean?
And whatever you're saying, it's not really your intention to say it. It's just coming out of your mouth. Right.
And it blows me away. The stuff that I see come out of my mouth blows me away. I'm like, where is this coming from? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's interesting. There's another video that I recorded with a woman that you guys have not seen yet, because I just recorded it last night. And this woman claims that her higher self, she's had 2 NDEs, but her higher self is like, she's a walk-in, but the walk-in is not another being. It's her higher self walking in and upgrading her. So it almost sounds like maybe, and it kind of sounds like to me that you're kind of, maybe a part of your higher self is saying stuff for you and you're there witnessing it or something.
Right, but I'm witnessing it in a third person.
Right.
Like I'm standing out of my,
you're outside of your body.
Behind myself, looking at myself.
Yeah, witnessing it from that. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
It is really wild. And I'm so thankful now that I can talk about stuff like this. And I know people are going to, you'll have many people that are like, yeah, I know what she's talking about, because, I see things similar to it all the time with the NDEs that I watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, my second thing is real short. I know that we're getting close on time, but I had a situation about 1.5 years ago. I had all my boys with me out on the property, and I have 5 acres of land here in Colorado, but it's on the border of New Mexico and Colorado, so it's in the desert area, and I'm literally right on the Rio Grande River.
Okay.
So we would hike down the mountain and go swimming in the river, every other day. But this specific time, now when I brought my boys out there, they're from North Carolina, and yes, they're used to possibly seeing a rattlesnake maybe once every couple of years, but out in the desert, you see rattlesnakes every single day. Well, there's this specific rattlesnake that's called a Mojave Green. Some of the people on the show might know what a Mojave Green is, but they're really aggressive, and especially if you go near their territory. So, so I was making my boys, you know, I tell them you got to look down and watch your feet walk because they'll be like curled under one of the cactus or something. So you got to watch every step that you take going down the mountain. So this specific day, they wanted to go, and I wasn't quite ready to go down to the water. So I'm like, just give me a minute, and I'll be right, you know, and we'll leave. And they were like, can we just go without you, you know? And they kept bugging me. So finally, I was like, okay, you guys can go right now. I'll be right behind you. So they start walking down the trail, and they got around the corner where I couldn't see them anymore. And I jumped out the door and I started to go so that I could catch up with them. And as I was walking, all of a sudden I heard, just as loud and clear as you and I speaking right now, I heard a voice say, your kids are going to get bit by a snake. And instantly I just started praying, you know, protect my kids right now. And in the middle of me praying, like I'm literally, I got my hands in the air and I'm praying because, you know, I don't want them to get bit. It's a scary thing for me, you know, and I'm in the middle of praying, and here comes my son running around the mountain, coming back, and he's like, Mom, there's a rattlesnake, and it's one of the green ones, because the Mojave green are green rattlesnakes. And it was like I was like, oh my gosh, I say, oh my gosh, I'm praying right now for you guys. A voice just told me that you guys are going to get bit.
Wow, that's
and
amazing.
It was just so, it was such a powerful moment. I got around there, and I'll tell you what, I'll send you a picture of the snake on Messengers, just so you can see how big the snake was. This snake was big, and it was fat, and it was a big, huge Mojave green. And that thing's up like this, looking at my boys. They're all up on rocks, you know, looking down at it, because the trail, you had to pass right by it to stay on the trail. But they're up on rocks now, looking down under and looking at this snake. And so it ended up being one of those Mojave greens, and that was actually as long as I've spent out in the desert, that was the first time I've actually seen a Mojave green. I've seen all the other rattlesnakes, but not a Mojave green. So I'll send you a picture of it. You can see how big this thing was.
All right.
But
maybe you
so
can maybe you can, if you're, you know, if you like the JeffMara Facebook page, and maybe you can post it to the page, and then people can see it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah. I'm on your Facebook page. I usually just message through Messenger. But yeah, I'll post it on Facebook so everybody can see it.
Cool, that'd be awesome. All right, well listen, I gotta run. I got someone waiting on me, but thanks for coming and sharing, and have a great weekend.
Yep, you too. Have a great night.
All right, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, next up is Margaret. Let's see what Margaret's up to. And did we get everybody? Did we missing any new? We're okay? All right. And yes, if you're still listening, that's a great idea. That what Creative Learning New York said, put it in the Discord. Ask to start video. Margaret, are you there?
I'm here. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Hello. So I was on the impromptu get together that you had.
Yeah.
That was great. So
yeah, I recognize you. How are you tonight?
I'm very well. I'm so excited to be here.
All right. So, what do you have to share with us?
Well, what I wanted to talk about is a phenomenon that has been happening to me since 2006, and it has a pedigree too, because it's said to have happened to other people. But anyway, what it is blue flashes, very brief, but sometimes they're a little bit different. Sometimes they're more soft, but mostly it's a very quick flash. It could be in any corner of my vision. It could be seeming far away or close. Okay, so it's a real phenomenon because I had it first when I did a healing workshop. It was a pedigree that supposedly went back to the Mayans, and it involved creating a space for divine intervention. So the practitioner is just really working on clearing their space and then bringing divine intervention. That's not the healer doing it. And it's said to involve a toroidal energy, blue, and also if a healing happens, then a blue flash will appear. So the first time I saw it was when I was taking the laundry from we did practice session in the workshop, and I took the laundry to the washing machine, opened the washing machine, and a blue flash came out of the washing machine. And it's been happening to me ever since. And I don't hear other people really talking about an orb that's really like, quick. So I'm just bringing that up. Maybe someone, okay, so my question is, and I asked my teacher this, and she said it was none of my business. I want to know what it means. And she said it was none of my business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where else have you seen it?
Well, I've seen it. Actually, I've seen it when I do massage. So once in a while, I've seen it on the body, sometimes in the room, but I could see it anywhere, daytime, nighttime, inside, outside. It's random. It is so random. I cannot manifest it. I don't hear voices. I don't have contact experiences. And it's so interesting. And I always wanted to know if, since it does have this, okay, so the divine intervention, well, I'm not going to talk for a long time, but Susan Rossi, who just passed away, is a pretty well-known chiropractor in Atlanta. And she was my teacher. Her teacher was a woman whose name is Star with 2 R's, Fuentes, who's in Arkansas. She lives in the area where they have all the crystals. But at any rate,
Eureka Springs.
something like that. She lives there, and she's been a minister for 40 years. But anyway, she has an extraordinary story, which at one point took her to being with curanderas in Mexico. And they would be mostly midwives going to the babies and mothers. They would teleport from where they were to the mother and baby if they needed to. And they used this divine intervention to bring a healing space. And supposedly they learned it from the Mayan, the Central America. So anyway, but it's a real phenomenon, and it's so extraordinary for me, because not that anyone can verify it happens, but it happens far away, close up, left, right, up, down, on people, in a room, outside. It's just really interesting. So I wanted to share that in case anyone else has had that.
I wish that Kim, who I posted last night, the Orb Whisperer, was here, because she's had so much orb experience. I would be curious to see what her take on that is. Have you considered reaching out to her? Maybe you should reach out to her, like on her YouTube channel or something.
I will do that. I will do that. That's a great idea.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny that you say that, because people send me stuff quite often. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And I guess I should say this now. It's like, 'cause a lot of people email me and contact me, and it's sometimes, I don't know if I would say overwhelming, but I just want to let people know that sometimes it's just even hard for me to get back to everybody. So if anybody says that, But anyways,
can I give my email address?
Sure, if you want to say it. If anybody wants to contact you, sure, go ahead.
Okay, it's Maggie, Maggie, Maya, Maya, which is a play on Maya or Maggie May. So Maggie Maya @gmail.com.
All right.
And if anyone would like to talk about divine intervention, I am so sure that so many of your guests are actually creating, well, I think this divine space is what you can step into, and it all comes from inside out. So you start with your heart, you start with clearing shadow of, obscuration, and just get bigger and bigger and bigger. You actually stretch yourself as a vessel, and it's a real thing. And I think Star Fuentes is still alive. I've never met her, but it's just fascinating to me that this happened to me. And they said, oh, well, this happens. So it happens. It's real.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming back and sharing with us, Maggie. And if you get an answer, come back again on our live and tell us what the answer is.
I will.
That would be
Maybe
really cool to
someone
get
will
a.
contact me.
That'd be
Okay,
great to have.
thank you. I love you, Jeff. I love Mara. I
Okay.
love all of you people.
Thank you. We love you. We love you too. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All right. I've got to run. Take care.
Yep. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. And a big applause for Maggie. And we got Timothy Smith here. And Leslie, thank you so much for that super thanks. We appreciate that, Leslie. And while we're waiting, because we're close to the end here, afterwards, Leslie will be playing live for you on his channel. And I'm assuming it's just called Leslie Kings. And if you guys want to continue hanging out, you can go over to his channel and he'll be channeling live music for you, and you guys can hang out in the chat. I mean, there's 293 of you here, so if you want the paranormal party to keep going, it doesn't have to stop when I finish live streaming. You can keep it going over in Leslie's channel. So while we're waiting for Timothy, I thought I said admit. I guess I didn't. While we're waiting for Timothy to come in, I have an NDE for you tomorrow. Timothy. Oh, we don't have volume yet. We don't have volume. I wonder if he knows. I'll put this up. Made by our very own Penny Sutton. It says, I can't hear you. And I'll plug Penny while we're here. If you need anybody to do cards for you, wedding invitations, anything, you contact Penny. She can help you out. She does an amazing job. And also Penny did the design of one of our mugs. The mug that it's a heart with wings, that's Penny's design. All right. So his audio is not connected. Let me see. I'll put this up for Timothy. It says your audio is not connected. I hope that's right. Oh, I think it's not the backwards version. Oh, here we go. There we go. Waiting for audio to...
I gotcha.
All right. I was putting up my different cards here to try to sign language you. Timothy, nice to meet you. Are you on the West Coast?
Arizona, Sedona, Arizona.
Wow. It's... We've been talking on chat, right?
Yes.
All right. So Timothy's in Sedona. We just had, what was her name? I feel terrible because I have a new guest every day, but we just had the girl from Arizona. Megan Brown from Arizona. Right. And Timothy is an experiencer himself. And I like your necklace there. What is that on your necklace? It kind of looks like a tooth.
This is a white light Sedona crystal. Shekinah Rose made it for me.
Cool.
And it's from the mountains here, and the crystals sing to her, and she goes and finds them, and she sings back to them, and it has a frequency and vibration of Sedona.
Do you know where the portals or the energy, what do they call, not portals, but they call them the energy vortexes are in Sedona?
Yes, I do. If you go to my Instagram on Sedona Activated, or Sedona Music Group, I was hiking behind the house here, and I have a water bottle that levitates off the ground, and I filmed it. I was right in the vortex.
Wow. Do you have that? Yeah. Do you have that video somewhere where we can see it?
You would have to go to Instagram Sedona Activated, and you can't miss it. You'll see a water bottle.
That's awesome. I got to check that out.
It's an aluminum water bottle. You can't miss. Just scroll down real quick, and you'll see it right away, and you can play it.
Let me write that down so I can find that. I wonder if I can grab it and then share it on my podcast. On my Facebook page. Let me see that. It's called, your Instagram is called what? Sedona Active.
I've got like numerous, but Sedona Music Group or Sedona Activated, it's on there.
All right.
Yeah, and it's a silver aluminum bottle, and I was sitting there meditating, and I watched the bottle literally just this kind of float off the ground, and it was incredible. It wouldn't fall down. It balanced right there. It wouldn't fall down.
Wow. I had another guest before from Sedona. I think she's living in Phoenix now, but I think she says in some vortexes out there, you stand in them and it's like either male or female energy. And if you lay down on your back, it's the opposite. Do you know anything about that?
I've never heard that.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you have to share with us? Tell us some stories here.
So I have a magical, amazing story.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into trauma and I went into depression. I've never been depression my whole life. And I literally was taken up to the stars, and I had 3 big, beautiful beings tell me to raise my frequency and vibration. And the one in the middle had a king's cap on, or a king's crown.
Wow.
And I came back to my body that morning, and they came in for 6 weeks, and they showed me my previous lives. It was incredible. I was an Indian in the 1800s in North Dakota, so I could speak Indian. And and I was in an advanced civilization like Blade Runner.
Oh, cool.
And then I was a rock collector in Atlantis. And that's why when Shakina and I hooked up, it was all about the rocks. It was all about going out and finding these rocks. And so I did 6 weeks boot camp, and then I just moved my mother to Prescott, Arizona. And I happened to be in her home when I was moving her when I had the awakening. And she is a huge Catholic, and they said he's mentally insane. He's off his rocker, because I was trying to help her with some things. So I had my awakening, and then they said that after about 2 or 3 months of them working with me, it was 6 weeks, was really hardcore boot camp. And then when they were done with me, they kind of just, they come in when they want to come in and connect with me when they want. And then they said that your star goddess is in Sedona, and they gave me her name, Shakina Rose.
Wow.
And I went online and I found her, and we had our first business meeting. And then by the second date, I was in love with her.
Well, yeah. What did she say when you told her about, that they revealed her to you?
She knew that I was coming in. Shakina's been on the path for 20 years, and she's an amazing, incredible reader. I mean, she's incredible. And she does soul readings and stuff like that. And she knew I was coming in, and she got the same effect that I got when we got together. And then we both connected to the green realm.
What's that?
The green realm is, and I have footage of all this. The green realm was, I moved over to the VOC Sedona, and I was out hiking in the back, and I saw one of the trees light up, and the tree lit up with fire, and it was blue, and I just took a picture. And the next 2 or 3 days, the trees were lighting up, and I was watching the portal and the fairies leave. And I started filming it. And then one morning I was out in the back here. I built this, you can see behind me, this is the fairy garden right here.
That's cool. Can you kind of bring your camera up closer? Let's take a look at that. Okay, great job. Yeah.
So I was out here one morning, and I heard, "Hi, I'm Rosie." And she came in, and I was looking around the backyard, and I'm like, wow. So that night I asked her, I said, "Rosie," I said, "why don't you fly across the screen and show yourself?" And I filmed it, and she did. And this beautiful fairy was flying across the screen. I have it all on footage. And I gave the footage, the neighborhood down the street, all this magic happened. I prayed to the universe, and I have a rock band, and I said, "I need a great drummer." And sure enough, this drummer moved in down the street.
Oh, perfect.
And then I said, "I need a producer for the movie." And sure enough, he was already there 2 years. His name is Glenn Olive. And he saw the footage, and he goes, "We're making a movie." And he works in Hollywood right now in the movie business. And if you go to YouTube, Sedona Music Group, you go to the Green Realm, Sedona Fairies, you'll see the footage that I just told you about. and it's really incredible footage. So I could star travel now. I'm trying to hold the highest frequency and vibration I can every day. I meditate, I pray, and at night I could leave my body about 3 nights a week, and I go up there, and they told me that I have a contract with the green realm,
Hmm.
and that is to love Mother Nature, love Mother Gaia. I hug the trees. I go out to the creeks, the streams of Sedona, and I'm in tune with the fairies and how incredible they are. You know, all the food that we eat is blessed by the fairies.
Wow, I didn't know that. I think it would be amazing sometime if we can get somebody like you while we're sitting here on a Saturday night to get some fairies or orbs or something appear on your phone camera while we're here live. Do you think that's possible?
I think I could do it.
Really?
Yeah, we could try right now.
Yeah, it'd be
I mean,
awesome.
I have a prayer that I use, and it's the elementals, you know, the Devics. Devics, elementals, fairies, radiate your loving energy down upon the earth, calming all the elements of nature to heal our wounded Mother Earth. I petition to work with you, to walk with you, to reclaim the beauty of the earth. We are all stewards, and the animal, mineral, and vegetable kingdoms will put under our care. I hereby don my shining cloak of spiritual armor, and I accept the responsibilities of ascending master of co-creation. I dedicate my life and all to the glory of God, goddesses, and all that is for the manifestation of heaven on earth. That's my Devic fairy prayer.
Well, we'll see if somebody shows up.
You know, you might see Rosie flying around the back.
That would be great. So, yeah, you mentioned that you have a movie coming out. The movie's
Right.
about your life, or what is the movie about?
No, it's about the green realm. It's about that we need to honor the green realm. We need to honor the fairies, and we need to honor the Devics and the elementals. It's incredible how magical they are. They're amazing beings, and they love us, and we've disrespected them on planet Earth. We poisoned the earth. Uh, they need respect. They need to be honored, because they're everything that you see that's green, all the trees, all the magic. It's because of them.
Hmm. You know, I don't know if you know much about my channel, but I had a near-death experiencer once. He was mountain bike riding somewhere, I don't remember, and he crashed his bike and I think hit his head and had a head injury, had his NDE, and then when he came back, for a while he was seeing fairies, and then it kind of faded away.
Um, they're fast. I have tons of footage. They're super fast. I'm really tuned into the music now. We're doing a soundtrack. I play the mandolin. I play guitar. I do a lot of music with Shekinah. Shekinah does a transmission. Mother Mary can embody Shekinah. Other goddesses. Shekinah can tune into other realms, and they sing through her. Mary Magdalene, and a lot of her transmissions from the fairy kingdom. She'll ask me to get the keyboard out or the guitar and play on it. And Shekinah sings in the miracle frequencies of the divine. It's
Hmm.
incredible. I mean, she's actually singing from other realms, her voice.
Well, Sedona must be in a pretty amazing place to live, because I keep getting more and more guests from there. I don't know if you guys all know each other or what. I mean, you know Megan, but I mean, I've had 2 or 3 others, and Sedona, the population of Sedona can't be that big.
10,000, but I was star guided here. I was told to come here.
Hmm.
I was told to come here and meet Shekinah, and then I was told to move here and root into Mother Gaia here. And then all this magic happened because I'm giving the fairies a voice. You know, this movie is giving them a voice of who they are. And yeah, I have a fairy altar in the house, and they get treats, they get cookies, they get
Wow.
chocolate, because they could smell.
Uh-huh.
They could go really, if you give them chocolate, literally 2 days later after they smell it, the energy's gone from the chocolate because they'll smell it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but they love that kind of stuff.
So I guess your band is the Sedona Music Group?
That's my record company.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's called Sedona Music Group, and we've got a lot of artists on it right now. And most of the music is pretty high vibe, spiritual music. A lot of it holds a frequency and vibration, especially Shekinah.
Hmm.
She holds a 528. she sings a lot of frequencies. She holds that frequency.
Isn't that famous pop singer Demi Lovato? Isn't she from Sedona?
I heard that she does visit here a lot. I did hear that could be true. I know that Walt Disney,
Mm-hmm.
the Matterhorn at Disney was crafted after the rocks here.
Oh, wow.
And I know that Lucille Ball lived here. I also know that we have this like Sedona Hall of Fame or Walk of Fame where you walk over the bridge, and over 100 cowboy movies were filmed here. And Elvis loved it here.
Really?
That's what they say, that Elvis loved to come here.
Oh, wow. I don't know if you know, I had Elvis's stepbrother on as a guest recently.
Wow. Because I do know a man here claims to be Elvis's son.
Right. Yeah, I think Maggie, well, not Megan mentioned that one of Elvis's love childs, I guess, lives there.
That's my friend. That's my friend, John Smith Presley. And he says he's Elvis's son.
Wow. Elvis, I didn't even know, but Elvis had 3 stepbrothers. His mother had died and his father had remarried a woman who had children. And they grew up with Elvis. So Elvis's stepbrother, Billy Stanley, was on, and he had an NDE and saw Elvis on the other side.
I'm sure they're all up there. According to Megan, I think it was Freddie Mercury was with her, right?
Right, yeah.
A couple others, according to Megan, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had that experience yet, but if it was me, I'd connect with Scott Weiland.
Oh, there you go.
I'd want to connect with him, But like I said, I'm connected to the fairies. But yeah. If it's all amazing and magical, if we all would just heal. For me, it's the healing of the universe. This road rage, all this stuff, all this violence, is because these people aren't healed.
Mm-hmm.
And if they would go into themselves and their heart and heal childhood abuse, whatever it was, we could change this planet.
Right. Can you stream from a computer? Can you do this from a computer? Because
right now,
no, not right now, but I'm saying maybe you can come back next Saturday, and if you put all your footage on a computer, I'll let you screen share, and maybe you can share some of your footage, all these videos that you're talking about. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I could do that next week.
That would be awesome, because I think everybody here would like to see like the videos of the fairies and whatever else video you have, the levitating bottle.
Footage of them too.
That would be amazing. Yeah,
and I could show you the water bottle levitating off the ground. If you ever want to come to Sedona, you let me know.
Yeah, maybe I need to move there. Over this podcast, we're in a temporary place, and as long as I have good internet, I could do this anywhere. And I keep saying maybe I should move to Arkansas, but maybe Sedona is the place I need to be.
You were thinking of Oregon?
Arkansas.
Well, Arkansas, because they have the crystal rocks in Arkansas under the ground.
Yeah, that, and I think there's a place, well, one of the places up there in the northwest area is Eureka Springs, and that's where Dolores Cannon was from, and they have like a UFO conference there every year. And a lot of people, I've had a handful of guests from there, and everybody that's up there loves it there. But then people also love Sedona too, and that's another kind of spiritual place.
It's for me, it's incredible. I was out today, 89A, up going into Flagstaff, and that's where I feel that there's the same frequency in Mount Shasta as it is in up 89A going into Flagstaff.
Mm-hmm.
And Shakina and I love to go up there and connect. If I'm not grounded in Sedona, that's where I go, and I sit with the trees and I ground myself.
Yeah, sounds nice. Yeah, we like Flagstaff a lot. It's beautiful there.
Flagstaff's another great place.
Yeah, it is.
And all the animals here. There's so many incredible animals that are the coyotes and javelinas, and they're always showing up. And the birds, and they're always around. You just drive down the street and you'll see javelinas crossing the street. A huge herd of them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, it was a pleasure meeting with you. I got to run, but I hope to see you back next Saturday from your computer, and we can look at these videos.
You got it.
All right, brother. You have a great rest of your evening.
God bless. Thank you.
God bless you.
Have a great night.
All right, take care.
All right.
Cheers. And a big round of applause for Tim. And hopefully we'll get him back next week and we can see these videos. All right, guys. Well, it's been a pretty quick night, and I went overtime about 20 minutes. So I want to let you guys know that, again, we're going to have an NDE tomorrow. I started working on that, and we should have it obviously finished editing by tomorrow. Oh, yeah. So we got to get one more donation here before we go. Where is that? From Layla. I don't have the last. It doesn't say the rest of her name. Okay, Layla McGunn. Thank you so much for that super thanks. We really appreciate it. And it says, woot. Is it? Oh, and she said, we love you. And we love you too. And I think that's it. I think that's everybody. We said Leslie's there. So again, there's 300 of you guys. The paranormal party doesn't have to stop. If you want, go to Leslie King's channel. He'll be there. He will be playing his music. You guys can continue on the chat. And I hope to see you guys back next Saturday, and bring a friend with you. Bring 2 or 3 friends with you, because I'd love to see the number of viewers 1111. That'd be really cool. On that note, guys, thanks again for watching the videos. Thanks for hanging out with us. We really appreciate you guys. We love you. God bless you.